We start a little earlier, page 83, because he starts with the description of his seedless eye. The seedless eye means when from the eyes, ignorance or the veil of ignorance is removed. Then you see much more. It's like we don't have vision. We see very little. We see according to our capacity for sight. Our capacity is very narrow. I see this little bit that is in front of me. I don't know what is beyond. I don't know what is behind. I don't know what is above. So we live in small little squares of experience, trapped in little compartments. But here he gets the sense of being part of a universal flow of energy, of worlds, of forces, of beings. You realize the enormity of this play of creation. The divine plan, it's so enormous, it's so wide, vast. This huge creation, usually he describes it beautifully when he says, she was overtaken in her mighty privacy. She keeps herself, nature hides from man. Because man is ignorant, he is half blind, he doesn't deserve to see the knowledge, the truth, because he doesn't have the capacity to know. As he acquires that capacity, he realizes the play of the forces. This is what he sees. Lifted above our needy, limited scope. Needy is poor. Our scope of knowledge is very small. Page 83. Our scope is very needy. We think we know a lot, but we know so little because our instrument of knowledge is so small. He sees the sheer power pattern of a cryptic science. The whole play of nature is a play of signs, symbols. Everything is a projection of a symbol of a divine power. Everything, whatever happens, whether there is a play of the external nature or the inner life of man, his vital nature, his mental nature, they are all cryptic, that is to say, it's like representing a secret truth. So, as Mother often says, you're a doctor. If you are not well, it's a sign of something inside that is not well. Do you have somewhere a disharmony in your nature? Is there something that has lost its balance? It's not simply an external, you might say, illness that manifests itself as illness, but it is a play of a certain force or forces which we cannot really deal with, and so we often break down under the pressure. So you see the whole complexity of manifestation. So it is her potencies of marvel for fraught design, courted employment by an earth-nursed might. All this was as if offering itself to him. The play of manifestation of nature is now offering itself to a being who has evolved from matter to the spirit. This being is Ashrapati. This is what man can do. He can rise from the lowest inconscience to the highest connection or experience of the truth. And so when we have that knowledge, you see things for what they are, not for what they seem to us in our smallness, in our little understanding. So he sees nature is not a mechanical play of forces, a conscious nature, a force that is working itself out towards an end, a conscious nature. Evolution is moving towards a predestined end, knows where it is going. We don't see that, we just see the play of external forces. It is leading towards a goal, a conscious nature's quick machinery. On the one hand, it seems to be a working out of a plan, like a mechanism but quick in this real sense, living. Something that is really conscious and alive. And therefore, the play of external forces is not simply external, armed with the latent splendor of miracle. Because miracle is something that is beyond our logical understanding. Miracle is not impossible, all is miracle. We try to bring everything down to our mental formulas. But there is a play of forces which mind cannot grasp. Truth is beyond our mind. We capture just a little fragment of truth. So here, his vision, not just his mind, his whole consciousness is one with the play of the divine, who is working himself out in the play of manifestation. Nature is his Shakti, it is his force. She is leading the earth towards that ultimate unity of matter, revealing the spirit. Matter is not the opposite of the spirit, matter manifesting the spirit. This is what he sees, the prophet passion of a seeing mind. Seeing mind, mind that doesn't think to understand, mind that sees. When I see, I know. It's a direct experience. That is really the nature of a prophet. A prophet sees. A prophet doesn't really tell us what is going to happen in the future. We think that is prophecy. Prophecy is direct knowledge. If someone can break the veil of that division between the knower and the known, between the seer and the seen, that which is behind the screen is already there. It's present. And the lightning bareness of a free soul force, a power of the spirit that is manifested without the need to be covered by external, you might say, explanations. Therefore, all the possibilities of the divine, you might say, plan, imagination, creativity, everything is waiting to reveal itself. It's all there, everything is there, the future is already present. It's waiting to manifest itself. So all once impossible deemed could now become a natural limb of possibility. That is the reason why, even in our small scope, we become slowly capable of manifesting things we could not do before. There are things within us, capacities within us, which at one stage we could not achieve, we could not manifest. And as we become not just physically or externally conscious, but inwardly capable of taking hold of the play of the secret forces that are behind, we begin to express, to manifest in thought, in action, in vision, that which was always there, but we couldn't see. It becomes natural. To be able to see the invisible is natural when we do not have the reliance any longer on this external superficial vision of matter. Within the sheath or outer form of matter, the power is hidden. So in everything, there is the presence of something more than matter. You take a simple example. Mother sees a flower. She doesn't only give you, it's not a flower, she gives the significance of that flower, the force that is there, the consciousness that is there, the presence and the truth that is there. It was always there. I never saw. We see a beautiful flower, or you say, no, this is less beautiful, that is more beautiful. You see a rose, or you see a flower like Radha's consciousness, or whatever. We never thought of Radha's consciousness as Radha's consciousness. We never understand why she calls it that. To be able to see in the within things, not to see things from the outside. That's what we do. We see things from the outside, to see things from the inside. And that is what Sri Aurobindo does all the time. That is what sometimes even a poet or a prophet does. So he says this is impossible. He says this is natural. Becomes a natural limb of possibility. A new domain of normalcy supreme. It's normal to be more than what we are. It's normal to be able to manifest what is not evident on the surface. The miracle is not a miracle which is an expression of something unusual, something unexpected. It is actually normal. It is normal for man to become divine. Because the divine is hidden inside us. To manifest that divinity is the purpose of our existence on earth. It's not just to do something exceptional, and we are very happy when we do something exceptional. The exceptional is the norm. To be less than that is a pity, but that's what we normally are. We live below our norm. We don't live up to our maximum. And that is one beautiful sentence, Mother puts it in her book on education, on the science of life. It was in French, but she said, to be at each moment the maximum of what you can be. We can be a lot. To be at our maximum means to make ourselves conscious in every part of our nature, in our mind, our life, our body. We tend to fall asleep. We tend to be satisfied with what we have already done. We fall back into the past. Again and again we go back to the past. And Mother says, don't go back to the past. Move towards a new possibility, a manifestation of the possibility that was always waiting to manifest itself, to express itself. The seed is not meant to stay a seed, it's meant to become a flower and a fruit. You should look forward to that. That is what we are. So it is normal to be more than what we are. The maximum of what we can be is a completely new being. Sometimes you feel it, as Akshay might feel it tomorrow. That there is a certain opening to something else. We do get it on our birthdays. There is an opening, there is a receptivity. If we can hold on to it, not just on the 12th of October, but on the 13th and the 14th and the 15th and all the other days, then life becomes a continuous field of new experience, new discovery. It becomes a journey into the marvelous. But we fall back. Unfortunately, the downward pull of inertia is strong. But we can at least make an effort. Why is this so? The world is one thing on the outside, but the outside is actually the outer covering of what is hidden behind or within. Man is a world in himself. In him, all sorts of possibilities are hidden. We are not just the outer form. If we have in us the stuff of consciousness that is willing to unravel itself, slowly we reveal what is within us. That is what's sometimes called stuff, letophila. It is like cloth that has been folded, unfolded. There's so many things you can see, so many designs and patterns you never saw before. So this becomes a natural limb of possibility. And all once impossible deemed could now become a natural limb of possibility. A new domain of normalcy supreme. So that is normal. To be more than what we are is normal. To be great is normal. We don't call it great. To be yourself. To be our true self. That is what we are supposed to be. Our true self is He. That is what we are. To be He is what we are here for. So an almighty occultist erects in space this seeming outward world which tricks the sense. That is the whole thing. This outward world is a seeming, is an appearance, and it often puts us into a world. It catches our eye, it catches our attention, and our senses are captivated, and we are interested in the external sights and sounds and forms and movements, and we get so carried away, we have no, you might say, even desire to go deep inside. There has to be inside us something that is quiet, something that moves out of the surface consciousness and look deep inside ourselves. And we see an entire universe inside, or inside each of us. There's a world of life, there's a world of mind, there's a world of experiences and visions. So many, it's a play of so many forces. That is what the occultist is. The occultist is a person who sees the hidden worlds. He doesn't tell us things that are not there. They are there, but they are not easily visible or accessible to the surface senses. And that almighty occultist is the divine, is the creator. He erects in space, because in space and time is this creation, this complex creation. And the senses are so captivated by the surface, we are captured by all the outer play and say, you see how interesting this is, how beautiful, how complex this is. It is incredible how quickly we forget to be aware. We know that there is much more to life, truth, than what is on the surface. We know, but the outer surface is so, catches our attention so much that what is behind that outer form is something that does not really, we escape that, we miss it. So this seeming outward world which tricks the sense, he weaves his hidden threads of consciousness. That is why I mentioned the etoff, the stuff. She often used to use that word. It's like a weaving. It's made of what? Creation is made of what? Matter. Matter is what? Matter is spirit. Matter is energy. Matter is, spirit is consciousness. So matter is consciousness. It's a combination or play of energies that move in different directions. It gets complex. Like in a weaving, there are threads that move in one direction and other threads that move in another direction, but it makes a fabric. That outer fabric is something you take, this is reality. But those threads have come from where? The threads have come from him. They are projections of his consciousness. So he weaves his hidden threads of consciousness. He builds bodies of his shapeless energy. Matter is energy. And yet, therefore, this body is he. The ancients knew this. In the Vedanta, they knew this. They spoke of this. This is Vedantic, this aspect of the yoga of the spirit's freedom. All is he. And that is what you are. Tat tvamasi. You are that. Why are we not capable of recognizing that, or realizing that, or living in that? We can, but we don't usually. He weaves his hidden threads of consciousness. He builds bodies for his shapeless energy. Out of the unformed and vacant vast, he has made his sorcery of solid images. He's a wizard. This outer world of solid images, they're images. But what has he made them out of? Out of something that has no material form. So this world of matter is made of something that is not material. That's the second chapter of the Life Divine, if you want to read that. So, and this world of the play of energies is so systematic, so well arranged. There is nothing that is haphazard. His magic of formative number and design, number and form and shape, it is in a sequence from the small to the great, from the amoeba to man, one by one. And yet in each of us, the small is still there. The smallest is there, the ignorance is there. On that he builds and brings out that this creature called man can gradually manifest in him that which is infinite. The little finite being can manifest the infinite, because the infinite is really the creator, the one who is at work or who is at play, that is his Leela, you can call it play also, in all this complex universe. It's a machine because it's so systematic, and yet it is magic, it is sorcery. We call it sorcery because we don't understand how he does it. How can each atom contain sufficient energy in order to really, say, destroy a whole city? A tiny atom, the fusion of a small atom, which is packed with so much energy. In the same way, man is a small being. He is packed with infinite energy. He is not limited. We think we are small, we think we are limited, we think we are weak, we think. And because we think and we believe that, we never become what we are. Because we are caught up in our thinkings. We don't become what we are. We can become so much more. His magic of formative number and design, the fixed irrational links none can annul. When you see a link, it is a chain. It's a pattern that is fixed. And yet it seems irrational, because out of formless energy is matter, out of matter comes out life, out of life comes out mind. This is not rational. Reason can't explain. What reason can't explain, we say, is crazy. How can he do it? It's not possible. And yet it is so systematic. At no point is there chaos. At no point is there even a repetition and you say, oh, this time it didn't work, start again. Like when we try to do something and it doesn't always express itself in the right way, whether it's drawing something or doing something, so no, I'll do it again. But he never makes mistakes. There is an absolute mastery in the worker who is there. The divine is the worker as well as the creator. He is the creator and he is the worker who manifests his creation. This is in the essay, The Delight of Works, as I was talking about last time. It's marvelously described in that little essay. So beautiful that he is the worker also. He is the work, he is the worker. He is the world, he is the builder of the world. He is the instrument with which you, not just the worker, but the instrument with the help of which manifestation is done, like the tool. The divine is the tool, the divine is the work, the divine is the creator. So there's so many aspects of the divine at the same time, and all this is man, through man. And that shows the infinite possibilities that are latent in us. That's why he says criss-cross tangle of invisible laws, and yet links. So it's a play of outward apparent opposites. It looks like a tangle because we can't find the logic. We can't find, we are blind. You see, all this is very confusing. But this, his infallible rules, his covered processes, achieve unerringly an inexplicable creation where our errors carves dead frames of knowledge for a living ignorance. Where our error carves dead frames of knowledge. Our error, our ignorance, our blindness cannot make out how out of something that is less, something more can come out. How out of the stone life comes out of the mud the flower comes out. The blossoming of consciousness, which is one of the images the Buddha made, that the lotus, the symbol of conscious manifestation, it blossoms in the mud. It blossoms in the mud, and not only that, it never gets muddy. It's not covered by the mud in which it blossoms. It's in muddy water, but it is always pure. So it is our incapacity to realize that this small, dark origin, which seems to be the origin, creates the whole world of manifestation. So it is our living ignorance.
What is living ignorance? Living ignorance?
Yes, we live that. Ignorance is our partial vision. Ignorance is our blindness. This is the field in which we live. We live in that little small, we might say, circle of knowledge, which we call knowledge, we call wisdom. It is ignorance. What I think I know is actually an expression of my mental pride, my ignorance. But out of this littleness, all the vastness of the infinite and the eternal can really open up. We can break out of this and move to another level. That is, as if she is doing this work. Nature is doing, the divine doesn't seem to be there. For a long time you don't see the presence of a conscious creator. Nature creates herself. She is doing her own work. She is a projection of his consciousness, no doubt, but she is doing her work. Nature makes things happen. This Shakti, this Prakriti, she is doing her work quietly, making slowly, creating the whole growth of manifestation through evolution. It is systematic. Even if you take the outer field of evolution, which you say is a series of new beings that come. So you have the invertebrate, and then you have the vertebrate creatures, and so on, one after the other, until man appears. All this has been done by whom? By nature. God doesn't seem to interfere. God with his consciousness doesn't seem to interfere, but she's actually his worker. She's doing the work. In her mysteries mood, that is why mystery has this double significance. Mystery is spiritual knowledge also. The knowledge that is not understood by mind. Mystery that we don't understand. We don't understand because we try to understand things which are beyond the mind with the help of an instrument that is mind. It's like trying to try to explain something with another faulty instrument. My instrument of understanding is my mind. But I'm trying to recognize the truth of something that does not belong to the level of mind. In her mysteries moods, divorced from the Maker's laws, it is not as if the following the pattern of the divine who is manifesting himself at every stage a little more. Sometimes the divine doesn't seem to manifest himself. You have vital forces that come where the divine seems hidden. You have mental forces, spirits, demons, dark forces. They also have their role to play out of the world of the subconscious, out of the world of the vital. You have other forces, not just forces that rise up to the heights, forces that drag us down, forces that pull us down all the time. They are also there. She says these also we have to go through. We have to go through these opposite forces. We go through pain, we go through revolt, we go through anger, we go through passion, all these things, and whatever advance we had made is wiped off and start again and again and again. The Maker's laws would be once you have done one step, you go to the next. And then you climb to the next stage. That way, the journey of consciousness will be much shorter. Because manifestation is a journey of consciousness. But the journey of consciousness is not a journey, it's an adventure. And in the world of adventure, there is the possibility of danger, the possibility of losing one's way. And that is what happens. In our journey of consciousness, we do lose our way. So it is as if we don't realize we are here to recognize, to discover our inmost self. We are here to become ourselves. That's what we think. And we are here to become ourselves. Who is this self? This ego. Also, you say, I am self. Self is ego. Self is my natural sense of separate identity. That's that sonnet called self. So, self, I have one hand, having self, I am free. I am not bound by anything because I am living for myself. This is the way man often lives. He thinks only of himself as a unit who lives for himself. And he can relate to other units for different reasons, through love or friendship or anger or hate, whatever. They're all different forms of relationship. But that sense of self is there. It is divorced from the Maker's laws. The true self is the divine. That is why in that book, that essay of the mother called The Supreme Discovery, she speaks of that smaller self and the great universal self. The great universal self is in all. But that has gone so far into the background. The surface self has taken up the whole, you might say, screen of our consciousness, it's filled our screen of consciousness. We are busy with that. We have forgotten that there is a deeper self within. And that is why I suppose the essay is called The Supreme Discovery. Discover who you are. Find out who you are, that real self inside. It's not this person on the outside. That's just a kind of a external formation. That external formation comes and goes, like the clouds in the sky. They keep on changing their patterns and changing their forms. They are not the ultimate truth. So she has, in her mysteries moods, divorced from the Maker's laws, she too as sovereignly creates her field. She's playing all the time. She's like a child with a colored pencil, keeps on making its own designs all the time. Her will shaping the undetermined vasts. Vasts, the energies. And in one of her talks, like, it's as if nature is making experiments. And she made, out of that undetermined formless energy, she made creations. She made, say, dinosaurs. She made tyrannosaurs. She tried them out, experimented, and then found that was not good enough. No good, it was a waste. So cancelled it. Because she says nature is not in a hurry, she likes to play around. So she created these huge creatures with small brain, huge bodies, and this is man also sometimes, he's also a dinosaur. He has a small mind and a huge body, and he occupies a lot of space and lives only for himself. And then at some point he, like that earlier dinosaur, may one day be wiped off the face of the earth. He can be, because she says nature is really experimenting. And she says she's not in a hurry, elle n'est pas pressée. It doesn't care if you don't, takes time, doesn't matter. So this is something we have to be very conscious of. A day might come when we can be replaced, unless we participate in the evolutionary process consciously. We will be replaced by other creatures, much more open to, receptive to her force, and allowing her to manifest herself through us, to become receptive, to become instruments of that force. And I realize I'm not the doer of my work, she's the one who is working through me. She, the universal Shakti. So, the veiled creator's cosmic secret, she too can make an order of her caprice. Caprice, is very changeable whims. Now you want this, then you want that. And he gives you the image of a being who is not steady, not concentrated in one direction, trying out all kinds of, in her play of manifestation. It is her game. As if her rash superb wagered to outvie the veiled creator's cosmic secrecies. Superb, the original meaning of superb was pride. That is the real meaning. So the sense of greatness, which is superb. She dared, as if she dared to challenge the Supreme. You are strong, I can show that I am stronger. You created a universe, I also can try to create a universe. So there's a play of two forces. One, the original consciousness that has come down and is manifesting itself slowly. One that is coming up from below, trying out, experimenting with all kinds of other forms. She creates, she uncreates, she wipes off and starts again. So her will, in her mysterious moods, divorced from the Maker's laws, she too as sovereignty creates her field. Her will shaping the undetermined vasts, making a finite of infinity. This is our world. It's an infinite play of forces, making a world out of the play of forces, and then finding at some point that this creation perhaps is not as it should be, but is not representing harmony and beauty. So it can be cancelled. There is a pralaya, there is a wiping off, and a new one starts. And she says, according to the occult tradition, there have already been 6 creations. They have come, they have gone. This is the 7th. She says, this one may not be replaced because each creation has its own essential principle. And this one, the principle that really controls this creation is equilibrium, balance. Therefore, it may be allowed to continue and grow and strengthen itself progressively. She too can make an order of her caprice, as if her rash superb wagered rash, because otherwise she's daring, she tries all sorts of things that are not logical, that are possible of doing something that can drag us down. A rash person is not brave only, a rash person is foolish. It's a sign of folly. It's courage, but the ego in the word bravery comes out in the word rash. Wagered, it's like a challenge, she puts a wager, to outvie the veiled creator's cosmic secrecies. To vie with, is to compete with. So as if she's competing with him. The rapid footsteps of her fantasy, caprice, fantasy, these terms, she tries out new modes of being. What man cannot do? What man can do? There is nothing he cannot do. He dreams one day, and maybe 5 centuries later, he puts that dream into expression. He wants to always go to the moon, so today he has managed to go to the moon. But what will he do by going to the moon? Simply extend the field of his consciousness? Or will he control the moon with his own ego as he has tried to control the earth? Or will he expand his area of knowledge and make use of that knowledge in order to come in touch with that power that is in the universe? Each one might recognize the possibilities. I go to the moon, I've done something special. I go to the moon, I get in touch with the divine, with the universal consciousness. I go to the moon, I feel, somebody will say, I feel I've really broken out of my boundaries. That's all. So each one has his own reaction to the experience, and nature is trying out all these experiences through us. Some may raise us, some may break us, some may make us capable of things that are waiting to emerge out of our littleness. That's why he calls it a fantasy. Amid whose falls wonders like flowers rise, because each flower is a wonder. Out of the world of darkness and mud, the flower does come. The blossoming comes. Each flower is a manifestation of a state of consciousness, which is why you see how much Mother is so particular about giving the significance of each flower. It's not a flower only, it's not just a form of beauty. It stands for something. It stands for a particular state of inner consciousness. So the inner life and the outer life, they are actually part of one whole. These wonders are surer than reason, defter than device. Deft is very skillful. So all the mechanisms that we have is very skillful. Today we have a world of technology. It's filled with all kinds of skill, expressions of skill. It's the technology that our mind has created, and then we become slaves of that skill. We are bound by that technology, we are dependent on that. So does it really lead to the growth of our consciousness? I possess the technology, I can do things much faster than I could earlier. I can do it perhaps with external results that are much more, we might say, outwardly reliable. But has it really changed me from within? Has it helped me to grow in my spirit, in my nature, in my consciousness? She allows me that possibility. So these manifestations are surer than reason, defter than device, and swifter than imagination's wings. That is imagination. Imagination has to be first created in the world of images. In my mind, I make an imagination, and that makes me attempt to realize that imagination. I create an image in my mind, and then I try to project it in the form of expression. All expression starts with the mind. Your mind creates, this is what I can do, then I try to do it. Now, imagination flies in all directions. Maybe they lead me to something which is an expression of a hidden possibility waiting in the future, or maybe it won't. Maybe I move around in a circle of complete ignorance. So all this she fashions by the thought, all she knew fashions by the thought and word, compels all substance, takes up matter by her wand of mind. So this is this world of nature. Mind is her wand, like a sorcerer has a wand. With the help of mind, she creates, she breaks, she repeats herself. So Mind is a mediator divinity between the spirit and the body. Its powers can undo all nature's work. So we can stop there today. It's a
Just next to line, I wanted to ask one thing. A franchised from Earth Habit's drowsy seal. What is Earth Habit?
the nature of earth, matter, the seal, the stamp of drowse, stamp of dullness. You're freed from it. To be affranchised is to be liberated. So you're liberated from the drowse with the help of matter. You can come out of the dullness of inertia. So that is one thing mind can do. Your body by nature is made of matter, and the nature of matter is inert. But mind can fly. I cannot move out of my room, but my mind can go all across the universe.